Should the Dallas Mavericks make a trade for Pascal Siakam? Type T for trade or P for pass. Lots of rumors around Siakam's future are starting to circulate after the Raptors traded OG Anunoby, and maybe, just maybe, the Mavericks are a team that's going to be interested. Lots to dive into. Let's get it here on Dallas Mavericks Today. Happy New Year, everybody. I am Harrison Graham from Chat Sports. Let's dive into this here. A potential Siakam trade could be on the horizon, whether it's Dallas or somewhere else. Obviously, Toronto flipping OG Anunoby for RJ Barrett and picks. And there is a report out there that the Mavs are interested in Siakam's services. Now, I do want to visit this Knicks-Raptors trade that went down a couple of days ago, where Anunoby landed in New York for Precious Achiuwa, Malachi Flynn as well, for RJ Barrett, Emmanuel Quickley, and a second-round pick, which, I got to be honest, this feels like robbery by the New York Knicks. And not because I don't think Barrett and Quickley aren't decent players. I do, but there was a report last year that Toronto turned down 3 first-round picks for OG Anunoby, and in this case, they only get 1 second. Sure, they get 2 players that might be worth 1 first-round pick each, but either way, they ultimately did not get the max value they could have gotten if that report from last year is actually accurate, which who knows if it was or not. Now, here's Michael Grange on the Pascal Siakam situation. He says Siakam is likely going to be pursued by the Indiana Pacers, Atlanta Hawks, and the Dallas Mavericks, per league sources. As the trade deadline gets closer, there will likely be more suitors. And look, let's be honest, and we'll talk about Grant Williams in a second. The Mavs need to upgrade at 4. And even when Grant Williams was playing well, Coop and I were telling you guys a lot that, yeah, Grant Williams is doing some good things, but you need another body there at the 4 position. And for whatever reason, Grant Williams, since coming back from his injury, just has not played well. Now, this isn't a massive sample size. He came out of the gates firing, so his overall season stats are still decent, but three-point shot hasn't been dropping. He looks like a guy who's hesitant to shoot the basketball. He just has not been very good offensively at all, and as of late, he just hasn't been good enough. He hasn't played like a starter, and so I think that's why this Siakam thing is pretty appealing, right? Because if Grant Williams can be your reserve 3-4 guy that goes back to playing, 25, 27 minutes per game instead of playing 30, 35 and isn't producing at a high clip, I think he can be more efficient in that reserve role, whereas Pascal Siakam plugs in and he's your number 3 player right away behind Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving. He's having a great year. Now, doesn't shoot the 3-ball great, but who cares, right? He's still efficient as hell from the field, 52%. Good score. I think he'd come in here, be a 20, 22-point scorer, be a good number 3 offensive piece next to Luka and Kyrie, and give you that positional value you need at that 4 spot right now. You're just not getting great value at that position at this point in time. So I think Pascal Siakam could certainly be someone that helps you out greatly. We'll look at a trade option here in just a second, but hey, we're trying to grow the channel here. Subscribe to Mavericks Today. Let's make 2024 the best year yet here on this channel and for this basketball team. So if the Mavericks make any moves, we're going to have you covered. As rumors start to fly around, we're going to have video breakdowns on that as well. It's youtube.com/MavsTV. Let's get to 26,000 subscribers ASAP. Okay, there is a report out there, too, that if the Mavs did get involved in a Siakam trade, they would flip Tim Hardaway Jr., Josh Green, and some sort of draft compensation to make that trade happen. And that's kind of like a duh, right? I think if the Mavs trade for any player that's got a big salary, Tim Hardaway Jr. is almost certainly going to be included, along with draft picks and other salary filler, and Josh Green now making $13 million a year. He could be some of that salary filler as well. And look, the way we see it, there's 2 ways a trade could go down. You could give up top assets, but Siakam comes here and he agrees to an extension, or you could pay more of a rental price, kind of like they did with Kyrie, and that ended up working out because they did get an extension done, but Siakam does not commit to a long-term deal, which I could see both sides of it. I'd honestly be okay playing out number 2, and then, if it works out, you extend him after the season. You would think both sides would be interested in that, and right now, obviously the top assets for Dallas, they've got that 2027 first-round pick, Tim Hardaway Jr., Josh Green, Max Prosper. Be interesting to see if they'd be willing to flip him this early on in his rookie season. lesser assets, more of like salary fillers right now, especially Rashawn Holmes. I still think Grant Williams is solid, but he just hadn't been good recently. Jaden Hardy as well. Not sure what he fetches around the league after kind of being in and out of the rotation here in year number 2. I would throw Maxi Kleba in here as well. He's currently injured, but he could be at least a salary matcher for a potential intriguing party, so keep that in mind. Prize Picks, today's sponsor. We appreciate them. Daily fantasy made easy over at Prize Picks. It's a new year and it's a new you, and you should download the Prize Picks app today at prizepicks.com/CLNS. Use our code CLNS to get a $100 deposit bonus. Not only is the NBA well underway, the NFL is ongoing. Week 18 upon us. I know you Cowboys fans are watching. Give me the more on CeeDee Lamb receiving yards. He's been cooking recently. Just had a huge game against Detroit, 227. He was fantastic. I think he hits 100 yards again. I'm going to take the less on Bijan Robinson rushing. The Falcons are a mess. I watched them last week against the Bears. They did not do anything. 10 to win 30 here. You can win up to 25 times your entry with the 6-player entry. So go ahead and try that today. You can cross over sports. It doesn't have to be just NFL or just NBA. You could do different players from different leagues in a single given entry. The more players you do, up to 6 players, the more bang for your buck you can get. PrizePicks.com/CLNS. Use the code CLNS. That link and code are in the comments of this video. They'll match you up to a $100 deposit. Okay, here's our trade idea. Pascal Siakam to Dallas for Tim Hardaway Jr., Josh Green, Rashawn Holmes, and 2 second-round picks. This is the trade Coop cooked up. I definitely think Toronto could ask for a first here, but remember, OG Anunoby, who's younger and some would say is more valuable than Siakam because he's more of that 3-and-D mold, even though Siakam's probably a better overall offensive player, he only got a second-round pick. Now, R.J. Barrett and Emmanuel Quickley probably adds up to being better than Tim Hardaway Jr. and Josh Green. I would concede that. But again, Siakam's on a rental deal. We don't know if he's going to commit to an extension. He's going to be 30 next year. So it'll be interesting. And look, I would trade both second-round picks too if you needed to. If I'm going to trade a first, then I'm probably not giving up Josh Green as well. I would throw in a different salary filler to make it a first-round pick. So a couple of different options the Bears could go, or the Bears. I just did a Bears video. The Mavs could go in this deal. My producer's laughing in my ear, by the way. Coop's out. That's why I'm off the rails today. If he commits to an extension pre-trade, sure, then we could throw a first in there. But if it's a rental price, I don't know, man. I'd be a little bit more hesitant on that front. So let's visit the trade again. Would you do this trade? Type A for accept or D for decline. Let us know in the comment section down below. I would absolutely make that trade, and that's with Tim Hardaway Jr. having a really good year. I just think Siakam's an upgrade at a bigger position of need because you've got kind of a overflow at that 2 spot right now on this basketball team and not enough front court help. So that is something that Pascal Siakam could provide. All right, guys, hit the subscribe button. We got more videos to come here on Mavericks Today. Coop will be back soon. He's still mourning his Texas Longhorns losing in the semifinals. So go tweet at Coop. Say, sorry to hear about your loss. We'll see you guys tomorrow. But, all right, go Mavs. We'll see you soon.